Yep. Hello. That's me, CharLee Simons, talking about two things you're never supposed to talk about: politics and religion. That's all I ever heard. Too divisive. Don't talk about politics and religion. Yeah, you'll make enemies that way, and there you just get people angry. And so just don't ever talk about it. Mm-mm. Yeah. I'm not good at that. You can ask any of my commanding officers and non-commissioned officer in charge. I oftentimes have a hard time following orders, which doesn't do me so well in some circles. However, I believe it's so important that we talk about those things because one decides what life is going to be like here on Earth. That's politics. The other one decides what it's going to be like when we leave Earth. That's the religion. So we should have never stopped talking about it. I'm not part of the silent majority. Screw that. I'm going to be vocal. I'm going to stay vocal. And I've paid the price. I have dearly paid the price, but worth it. Worth it. And I was just at the California State Republican Convention in Sacramento this year for the spring convention. And I was on the air Saturday for 13 and a half hours. Just one guest after another. And one was Amar Lal, L-A-L, Amar Lal. And guess where he's from? One of those central committees with the GOP Central Committee. It's a county thing. You have your state party and then you have your county. It's all Republican. We're all supposed to be on the same page. But when you have a state party that's running roughshod over counties and telling them who they can and cannot have leading their central committees that they legally elected the members of that committee, that central committee, elected a chair. And you have the state coming in going, yeah, no, we don't like that because he's for the person that we're not for to run the state party. And that is, they were for Mike Morrell, who's a good, strong conservative, former Senator Mike Morrell, running for chair against Corinne Rankin, who's been vice chair under a dismally performing rhino brigade called the California State Republican Party. Not all of them on that executive committee at the state level are what we call rhinos, which are Republicans in name only, but enough to wield tremendous power. And the other ones have been shut up and shut down. Like, I don't know if it's ever been that way in the state party. I've only been involved for a couple of years if I've been a delegate, but dang. You know, they say you never want to see how sausage is made. Sausage, delicious, good, fun. Yes, absolutely. Flavored in so many different ways. It's somewhat semi-good for you. If you're on an all carnivore diet like I am currently. However, the big problem that people have with sausage and hot dogs are the ingredients that go into it, which is always what's left over and the worst of the worst, unless you can find yourself a really good, reputable sausage maker. And they're around, but you're not going to find it in the stores for the most part. But it's all about the ingredients. And the ingredients they're putting into the sausage of the California State Republican Party are bad. Bad. We had some good wins on the final day, voting session day. We had some good wins. Jack Garrell is going to be an extremely good treasurer. I fully believe that. John Park, Mark Wright, Lori Wallace did not win, which was very disappointing. She was running for secretary. Lonnie Kane would have been a great vice chair. No, did not win. But Tom Weissmiller, that was a good call. That was a good win. But for the most part, though, they elected Corinne Rankin as chair. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a very dangerous thing. I hope I'm wrong. But so far indications are there's nothing wrong about that. I'm completely right. And before I bring in Amar, I wanted to ask you to please help out this show by liking. Hit that like button right now, whether you're watching live on Facebook or on YouTube or on rumble.com/DoNotTalk. Hit that like button. You really help the show grow that way. Comment on it. I'll open up the chat room, so I'll see your comment, and you can even ask questions if you want once we get started. And share these shows. When you share them, that really breaks down the algorithm, and that algorithm seems to be dead set against we conservatives. And unfortunately, so does our own California State Republican Party seems to be dead set against we conservatives. Am I wrong on that, Amar? Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Am I wrong what I just said, though? Am I off base?
No,
Is
you are
our
not.
own state party dead set against actual real conservatives?
Yes, our own people are the best enemy we can find anywhere who are identifiable. I was looking for rhinos and it was hard to find. Well, all I can say, God is great if we believe it. And
Amen.
thank you. Well, I didn't expect, and as we did not expect, what happened in Marin County. But as I mentioned,
No, I was going to say there it is. I hadn't really filled everybody in yet on all of that. Amara is part of the Central Committee, one of the central committees I was telling you about. The counties, just about every county in the state has one. They're the ones that vet local candidates. They're the ones who make endorsements for school boards, city council, board of supervisors, and thank God for them. Because that's just too big for the state party to do. Well, actually, it probably wouldn't be too big if they actually were effective and utilized the money that we give them properly, but they don't. There's so much waste, like $75,000 per convention for those stupid little TV remotes that we used to vote with that had all kinds of problems this past Sunday. And the salary that they're paying our chair, which for Jessica Patterson was $250,000 per year, $250,000, and that didn't include expenses. Let's make it $350,000 per year. But yet they're not giving money to local candidates, running for state assemblies and Senate. They're not even giving money to those candidates. Where's that money going? Apparently to pay the chair is a good portion of it. For doing what? I don't know. Dismantling our party. She's making, do you realize Jessica Patterson was making twice what the similar chair for the Democrat Party of the state of California makes? Twice.
wow.
And the Democrats win elections. We don't.
Yep, we have decided to keep losing and be the second grade citizens. For what?
You know what my theory is, Amar? It seems like we actually enjoy being in second place because it's easier to fundraise, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh, help us fight Nancy Pelosi. Oh, we're going against Senator Scott Wiener. That's right. Send us your money and we'll defeat those Democrats. It's easy to be in second place.
yes.
I mean, just sit back and take in the money. And I've been telling for people ever since I started getting involved with the state party, stop giving them anything. Don't give them a dime. They don't
Yep.
deserve it. Give to local candidates, give to local central committees if you're going to give to anyone who are actually doing the groundswell of the work. And like General Michael Flynn says, so act locally and support nationally, or no, act locally and impact nationally.
Yes,
Act
that's the way.
locally, and that's where your central committees come in. You're in Marin, which is a flaming blue area, but you're surrounded by people who despise you and don't want you there. So, which makes it even tougher for you. But yet, you keep on fighting, and I respect and admire that. I just had Dalila Epperson on from Monterey County, talking
Oh,
about what they've been doing to them. Well, in Marin County, with John Turnicliffe, your chair, they
yeah.
actually pulled the same stunt, didn't they? The state party did what to these different central committees that were all on side of Senator Mike Morrell for chair of the state GOP? What did they do?
Well, they had placed people who were not supposed to be the rhinos, who did nothing. And I'd like to share something most interesting. That's where I learned that for 2 years they never could put together the list of the local candidates. When I came back from the inauguration and I had interest to do something, and I said, "Oh, that takes not much time." And guess what? In 2 hours, I pulled out all Marine County local positions which never were challenged. Wow! In 2 hours, I don't know what takes 2 years. You can't get a list of candidates. You're depriving people of the chance, even not sharing that. And you know the result, but that's where it goes back. The rhinos, though everything which is on the YouTube channel of Marine County, the committee and the meeting, everything happened right way. And I personally felt insulted when in the proxies committee, the rhino chairman calls everybody was a mob. And it was, I mean, what else you expect? If a Republican calls you a mob, I don't know what to say about it, but God is great. In the convention, I couldn't believe it that proxies reversed the decision because they had appointed them saying mob was threatening, so it was the meeting was not right. John Turnbull is not supposed to be the chair. So the game got reversed, and that's the hope. So John Turncliffe is the recognized chair, and Frank is the recognized treasurer.
They
But
reinstated them, or the party said, "Okay, well, I guess you can go ahead and elect your own people."
yeah, but we did
Which are
lose
That's the
delegates.
rules, by the way.
Yeah,
That's the law. That's how it works.
yeah,
The committees elect their own people to represent that committee:
yeah.
chair, vice chair, treasurer, secretary. Um, and the state party was going around and actually taking away delegates.
Well,
This is what I learned: that taking away delegates from these different central committees that were very pro make America great, for lack of a better way to put it. They were very pro MAGA. We want to, we're all about conservative values and getting back to the core of our beliefs of the Republican Party. That's what we want. And apparently, that's not what the state GOP wants. They
yep.
took away your delegates, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what happened because I had no clue about associate delegate. So I was appointed a delegate without knowing what the whole thing is, what the game is being played. All I wanted to see that we need to do something for our country. We are becoming a third world country. And when I was appointed delegate, I was happy. I said, okay, I'll go there. I was anyway going, but I had no idea what delegate does. Then this happened. They said, oh, you're not a delegate. Okay, what do I do? I'm still going. Then say this, somebody comes with a good idea. Okay, you can be associate delegate. Okay, what does that get me? Or what do I do with that? How can I get involved? Well, you go there, sit around, and hear to anything, but you can't say anything. Okay, good. Well, I'm there. I was going to be there with despite this, both of the what do you call credits added to your name, which mean nothing. For a layman, they mean nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then this all things happen, watching people, meeting people, and some people come to you and say, "Why do you guys call rhinos?" I'm not asking somebody, "You are a rhino." I'm just walking around. What does this Dodge hat do? I have no idea. That triggered somebody, and some two, three people came, started talking. We are not rhinos. I said, "Well, I didn't even ask for it." And they were going offensive.
Yeah. What do you? Why are
This
you
was the
offended by
funniest
that?
thing for me.
Why are you offended by that?
Yeah, I said, this hat can offend somebody, and somebody can come start talking that we are not rhinos and da, 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 da. I'm like, what?
Nobody said you were
No,
until
I
you
didn't
said you
say.
were.
I
Apparently, you
didn't
just
say.
said you were.
No.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So the state GOP took away delegates. The importance of that, once the state GOP, which did not want Mike Morrell to be chair of their party, our supposedly, allegedly our party, um, when they would find out that certain central committees were definitely on the side, they were on Team Morrell. Um, they were taking away their delegates.
Wow.
And that because the delegates are the ones who vote. I heard numbers as high as 80 total in the whole state of California had that right taken away from them to be able to vote this past Sunday. And that vote.
Wow. I did not know that part. Wow, that's
Yeah.
good to know.
Yeah. Again, heard, haven't seen the facts, haven't seen the paperwork, just
Yeah.
what somebody told me who's a little bit even more connected than I am.
Yeah.
Um, I was stunned to even find out that was going on. And I'm thinking, how come more people are not talking about this? Where's the alternative media exposing what the state party is doing? And I think it's because they're just feckless and weak or afraid of any kind of backlash. I have no fear of the Republican Party in the state of California. What are they going to do? Oh, CharLee, you don't get to come to any more conventions. Gee, that's too bad. Well, then I'll stand out on the sidewalk and I'll continue reporting about what you're doing because it's horrible. And the way they're treating central committees and taking away delegates and telling central committees that the chair that they just legally elected cannot be chair. They decided you're going to have to take this person here. That's happened all this past year and the first of this year. That's been going on now.
Well, I thought we were the party of inclusion and to grow the party. But if this is the approach, that means we don't want to make California red or
Is
we
that
don't want
yeah?
California
This is
golden
no,
state.
no, exactly. So you told me though before we went on the air that they reinstated the delegates at least for Marin County because I just
No,
talked to someone at
no, the
Monterey County.
delegate, no,
Oh, did
delegates are not, sorry, no, correction. Only chairman and the treasurer and are reinstated. The delegates which were taken, two delegates which were supposed to be, those were taken. So in the grand schema, because I'm not a politician, I have no idea. All I care is, hey, our country, we need to stand up. It's the greatest country on the earth. And if we don't stand up, I mean, who else will do it?
why would they be so dead set against Mike Morrell actually running the state party?
I don't know what's the game behind. I am totally new to the whole thing, so I have no idea. I'm not looking for a office. I'm not looking.
Well,
All
as
I
somebody
care.
who's just new eyes coming into the whole middle of it, why would
Yeah.
they be dead set against an actual, real, true conservative, a strong person, actually taking over control of the California State Republican Party? Why would so many on the executive committee not want anything to do with somebody like Mike Morrell?
Well, all I know, I met and spent some time with him. He is a person who cares for the values which we all have. He's a God fearing, God loving guy.
There it
And
is.
I think
There it is.
uh, that is the biggest threat for any human being. If you are God loving, God fearing,
One thing the Republican Party has always stood for is God, family, country. And what I see in the California State Republican Party is they want to get God out of the picture altogether, just like the Democrats. I just assumed that everybody was kind of like, if you, not necessarily Christian, but just a person of faith with
yeah,
strong moral convictions and an attitude of fairness for all, but also not putting it on the backs of what they consider haves to give to the have-nots, whether you like that or not. That's not what the Bible teaches me.
yeah.
That's my responsibility to help those who cannot help themselves, but not the ones who will not help themselves. Um, the party seems to have really gotten away from that. I don't know where you stand with your religious convictions. Doesn't even matter to me, other than I know that you are trying to learn your way and you're trying to figure out what's going on with the state party. What was your take on the whole convention at the end of it?
Well, let me add on that there is only one God. Doesn't matter which religion, what you believe in. You believe in Christianity, Hinduism, or any other religion, millions of religion, millions of faiths, but deep down, the blood has same color. Whether you are Democrat, whether you are Rhino, you have one God. Either you don't believe in or you don't believe in.
One creator. Yeah.
Yes, one creator. That's it.
Mhm.
We all take a birth, we all die. That's the only two things happen. So that's the
That's
same thing to
right.
me. You are born, whether you believe in God or not. You
Yeah.
die, you believe in your death or life, doesn't matter. You live and you have a role to play in this life. Do something to make it better.
Was this past convention your first one?
Yes, this is my first one. And
What
I
were your
didn't want
thoughts?
it. It was
What was your
disappointing.
takeaway?
Sorry?
What was your takeaway of it?
Takeaway was, well, I was disappointed that when you and your team, who you look to, is not moving forward with the agenda which can progress every human being. And at one moment, it was disappointing. But walking with Mike Morale for a while after the election, after everything was over, I learned if we give up, then who will stand for it? Who will move forward?
Right.
So, takeaway was, hey, we got the new chair. They have their faults. We need to bring them. And if there is something wrong, we need to challenge it and ask questions. Ask questions. Rest we leave up to God. He's Almighty. He gave us the president. Some people didn't want him, but God wanted it. He's there.
Right. Amen.
So if he's fighting, why can't we?
Why can't we? Exactly right. Well, all right, Amar. How do we follow what you all are doing there in Marin? Do you have a website that if we wanted to check out what you're doing, see how we can get involved? Anybody in your area want to be involved? Where do they find you?
I'll give you the website of Marine County, which
Okay.
is, give me 1 second. That's the hardest thing to do, right?
No worries. We got
One
time.
second. You probably have to edit this part out or whatever. It's marinecra.org.
Marin CRA. Now that's the California Republican Assembly, not the
Yeah,
Central Committee.
yeah.
Okay. So
Dot
you're
.org.
.org. So it's MARIN, Marin CRA
Yeah,
.org. Okay.
and that's
Uh,
what it
okay,
is.
I got you. I like the California Republican Assembly. That's a political action committee that that has been around for decades.
Yeah,
It is a great wing of the Republican Party that nobody seems to have heard about.
yeah. Well, our motto is clear. We don't want rhinos. We want people to do something. If you
Amen.
can't do something, well, then you are at the wrong place.
I am grateful for the CRA, California Republican Assembly. All right, my friend. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us here on Do Not Talk.
Thank you, Charlie. Keep up the great work.
Absolutely. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And you want to help this show grow, give, send, go / do not talk. Best way you can do it. It's the nation's only Christian nonprofit crowdfunding website, givesendgo.com / do not talk. If you can buy me a cup of coffee, that'd be great. If you can buy me a tank of gas, that'd be even better, especially in California. And how about a carton of eggs? Throw that in too. Although egg prices and gas prices are coming down now, even in California, prices are dropping despite California state taxes on fuel being the highest in the nation. We're seeing gasoline go a little lower at the pumps, even though Gavin Newsom, Governor Hairdo, doesn't want that. I'm quite sure the whole plan was to force us into buying their little electric cars or taking their public transit system and their 15-minute smart cities where you will own nothing and like it. That's what they're all about. That's what the left is all about. So I expect my Republican Party to fight against that, not to actually start acting like them, which is what's been happening. May God bless you and keep you. May God bless America. But most importantly, America, bless God.